Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Saturday, May 25th, 2019, we have Game 6 in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals and a number of baseball games. We're going to start with baseball because it's up first today. Today, the White Sox have a chance of upsetting the Twins. They'd be a great payout. Risk-reward game, the White Sox could pick up their 24th win on the 24-date numerology. Again, that's been our most consistent variable in baseball. Yesterday, every 23 game followed the Riddle except for one. So we'll see if we can do the same thing today with the 24-date numerology. One thing that could go against the White Sox is the pitcher becoming 2-4, but that has not been anywhere near as consistent as date numerology wins and losses. If the Twins did lose, they'd become 16-9 at home. Chicago White Sox equals 169. One other thing for the Twins is the name Kyle Gibson equals 52, like Minnesota equals 52. Again, Minnesota hosted Super Bowl 52. He could become 5 and allergy season. He could become 5-2 today. The Yankees at the Royals. I think there's a good chance the Yankees win both of these games, becoming 17-7 away. 17's the 7th prime number. Kansas City Royals equals 59, the 17th prime. So you could get a nice prime number relationship if the Yankees win the doubleheader today, becoming 17-7 away. Junis with a loss would be 3-6. Royals is 36. We don't have the date numerology to go off of, so counting on the prime numbers there. For the second day in a row, the Reds can upset the Cubs. The Reds would pick up their 24th win on the 24-date numerology. Yesterday, we had the really strong Riddle through 23. Today's not quite as strong, but the date numerology is still there with the 24. And again, the Reds would be a decent payout. And don't forget, you can always take an underdog to cover. That way you win even if they lose by a run. More conservative approach, but boost your odds significantly of winning the bet. If the Cubs pitcher Yu Darvish lost, he would also become 2-4 on the 24-date. Make sure that note's here. And I'll post all these down below in the comments. The Padres have a chance of staying on 24 losses on the 24-date. Again, when you're already on the number, the Riddle's never as consistent. However, if you look at yesterday, every team that came in with 23 wins or 23 losses, all of them stayed on 23 wins or 23 losses yesterday. That doesn't always happen, but something to take note of. The Blue Jays are 2-2 at home against the Padres. Blue Jays does equal 23. If you use the rule for S, it is also 32. It's a little bit more pure with the 23. But there's a chance they could become 2-3 at home against the Padres today. There's not any really great clues, so I'm not crazy about that game. In the Diamondbacks and Giants game yesterday, the Diamondbacks gave the Giants, or I should say the Diamondbacks got their 83rd win at the Giants all-time yesterday. That's the 23rd prime number on the 23-date numerology. What I noticed today is this will be the 377th game between the two teams. That number has a square root of 14. When you write out 14 as a word, it equals 104. The Giants could get their 104th win at home against the Diamondbacks. It's a little bit abstract, but it's possible. I should note that Diamondbacks are at 25 losses. Giants equals 25. If the Diamondbacks did win today, they'd stay on those 25 losses heading in tomorrow, which is a date with 25 numerology. So I'm not real crazy about this game, but this Riddle with the 377, 14, 104, I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's not normally the way I decode, but always trying to improve the craft. Marlins and Nationals. If the Marlins can lose 2 straight, they'd be 7-17 away, the prime number relationship. If they lost today, they'd be 16-33. When you write out 16, it equals 33. Nationals is 33. They have one more game against the Nationals. I suspect they get to at least 33 losses in the series. Doesn't necessarily have to come today, but that 7-17, the prime numbers do come through a lot. Yesterday we had one prime number Riddle with the home and away records. It didn't come through, but still, more often than not, it does. The Mariners and the Athletics. The Mariners could pick up that 24th win today on the 24-date numerology. If The pitcher for the Mariners won. He would be 4-1. Oakland equals 41. Yesterday, Oakland won their first game against the Mariners on the 41 date numerology, making the Mariners 4-1 against Oakland on the season. There's one date numerology riddle that could go for the A's as well. If the Mariners lost today, they would be 4-2 on the season against the Athletics, and today has 42 date numerology as well. So, but still, the most consistent variable has been the win-loss records in the date numerology. So I'd still say the Mariners have the better riddle here, but it's a little tight. Fears, he's the guy who got the first no-hitter on May 7th, getting his 57th career win. Fears equals 57. His record is still 57-58. If he were to win, he would become 58-58, and Mike Fears equals 58. Just something to keep in mind. Tigers and Mets. The Mets are on 24 wins. We have the 24 date numerology. The Tigers pitcher, Carpenter, for his career is 1-4. If he got a win today, he could get to 2-4 on the 24 date. Interestingly, the pitcher for the Mets, Vargas, is 93-92. Remember, this is Saturday, named after Saturn. Saturn equals 93. So let me make that note more clear. The Mets, if they lost today, they would stay on 24 wins. Something else that's interesting is all-time, the Mets are 9-13 versus the Tigers, meaning this will be the 23rd game. 23 is the 9th prime. They could stay on 9 wins in the 23rd game. And this is also the Mets' 23rd home game of the season. If they lost, they would stay on 9 home wins. So I'm thinking the Tigers got a chance to upset the Mets here today. They did it yesterday. I'm thinking they got a chance today as well. If they did, that would set the Mets up tomorrow to get their 25th win on the 25-date numerology. Arrieta is playing the Brewers. Phillies versus Brewers. If the Brewers lose today, they get their 24th loss on the 24-date. A caller did observe if the Phillies lost, they'd be 30-22, kind of like 2-2-3 in reverse. Philadelphia's 2-2-3. It is a good observation, but still that date numerology is what's really been playing. Brewers and Phillies do have overlap gematria at 45, as does Jake Arrieta. Arrieta also has the connection to 54. So, there are some riddles that go here against the Phillies, but again, the most consistent variables, date, numerology, and wins and losses. So I'd say the most likely thing to come through out all those riddles is the Brewers picking up that 24th loss. Indians and Rays. This was the game that didn't come through with the prime numbers yesterday. Rays could have been 17-7. Instead, they became 16-8. What I notice is tomorrow's going to have 25 date numerology, right? 97 is the 25th prime number, and tomorrow the Indians could get their 97th win against Tampa Bay if they did not get it today. So that stands out to me in a big way. If the Indians did win today and picked up 97 today, I would assume that they would lose tomorrow on the 25 date numerology. So I might just wait and see on this game. If the Indians lose, fully expect them to get the 97th win on the 25 date tomorrow. Again, if the Indians do lose, they'd come into the date on 25 losses as well. The one thing that could play for the Indians today is staying on 24 losses today because we have the 24 date. Again, that's not a consistent riddle, but yesterday it was perfect. The Braves. The Braves and the Cardinals. Notice the Braves can get the 24th loss today on the 24 date. Talked about why they should win yesterday. Even the Cardinals up at 25-25. St. Louis is 25. Today it looks like the Cardinals can return the favor and give the Braves their 24th loss. But I just caught something as I said that. There is one other thing to consider here. It's the Braves' 53rd game of the season. That's the 16th prime. And they could get the 16th away win. I overlooked that earlier. But even still, that 24 That's going to be the most likely Riddle to play. There's been nothing more consistent in any of the world of sports. Date numerology and wins and losses usually trumps other things. But remember, most days there's not a perfect pattern. Like yesterday, go back and check. All of the 23 games, every single one hit except for one. And the one game where it didn't hit, it's where the Angels avoided picking up their 23rd win. The Rangers stayed at 23 losses. So there still was a 23 Riddle within the game. But again, some of those games yesterday with the 23, there were a few other things going for the other team. But still, it was the date numerology that prevailed. Red Sox and Astros. Yesterday, the Astros got their 23rd all-time win against Boston. That means today they could get their 24th all-time win against Boston. Boston is on 24 losses. But Astros are going for the 24th all-time win on the 24 date. Interesting that David Price is at 145 career wins. Today is the 145th day of the year. He's also at 77 career losses. Boston 77, so is Houston, so is Red Sox. So very interesting record for Price. The only thing I could say for the Red Sox is the possibility of staying on 24 losses on the 24 date. If Peacock lost, he would be 5-3. Boston Red Sox is 53. So the Dodgers can give the Pirates their 24th loss on the 24 date, and tomorrow they'd have a chance to sweep them and give them their 25th loss on the 25 date. That would also make their record 25-25 on the 25 date numerology. If the Dodgers win, they get their 34th win of the season. Pirates does equal 34. So if you listen to the live stream, caller said he's been observing a lot of streaks in baseball ending at 8. If the Dodgers won today, they would get their 8th straight win. Again, here's that Yankees-Royals doubleheader. I'm thinking the Yankees are going to be able to get to 17-7 away. I like the Rockies to pick up the 24th win tonight. They got a lot of things going for them. They are facing Cashner, who's the best pitcher for the Orioles. If Cashner lost tonight, though, he'd be 4-3. Colorado's 43. But Rockies' 24th win on the 24 date. Freeland, I guess there is one thing that could go against the Rockies pitcher. But pitcher records not anywhere near as reliable as overall records. If the Rockies won tonight, they'd be 10-7 versus the Orioles. Colorado Rockies equals 107. And if the Rockies won tonight, they'd be 4-1 at home against Baltimore. Baltimore equals 41. So quite a few things going for the Rockies there. The date numerology, the big one. And you could make sense of the pitcher records either way, but just the all-time records against the opponent makes sense too. And the Rangers can pick up that 24th loss tonight on the 24 date. So plenty of 24 games on the board. I would build some parlays. You know, some of your underdogs going for the 24, you know, I'd say take them to cover. You know, they don't pay as much, but they still pay well. You pretty much double your money. And, you know, you get a parlay, you can magnify it. So you got some games to work with the 24s. The ones where there's some extra riddles on the board, you know, those are the ones I'd be more shy about. That said, let's get into the NBA playoff game. So Bucks at Raptors. And tonight, a lot of my students who thought it was going to be the Raptors, they have a chance to be proven correct. I was favoring the Bucks. I do see the riddle for the Raptors to close out tonight, and it's through Drake. Again, Drake has been a central focus of the Raptors for years, especially in this playoff series, even getting coaches to talk about him. Tonight is 213 days after his birthday. The NBA Finals equals 213, a number that comes up with the NBA Finals a lot. It's also the 101st game between the Bucks and Raptors. Finals equals 101. Drake calls Toronto the 6. They can close it out in Game 6, perfectly synced with Drake's birthday. So, very strong riddle there. That said, I'm still not personally convinced it's going to happen tonight. I still got all of my thoughts that I've been holding about the Bucks and why, to me, they make more sense to play the Warriors. If the Raptors were to lose tonight, they would be 11-7 in the playoffs. Toronto equals 117. They're currently 7-2 at home. Toronto also equals 72. If they won tonight, they would be 8-2. Toronto Raptors is 82, so that would make sense. But if they lost, they'd be 7-3. And again, this is the 73rd NBA season, and this is going to be their last game at home. Next game would go to Milwaukee. So you could get a 73 tribute in the 73rd NBA season. The Raptors are 69-30 for the season. Today has the 69 date numerology. There's a chance they could stay on 69 wins today. The Raptors are 39-11 at home. If they lost, they'd stay at 39. That's the Drake number. Drake equals 39. The last game in Toronto was 39 days from Kawhi's birthday. It was Giannis's 167th day of his age at the 39th prime. That last game had the 39 overlap, and it came through. And now we know that's big for Drake as well. The Bucks right now are 10-4 in the 2019 playoffs. If they lost tonight, they would be 10-5. Consider they lost the last game, and the Raptors scored 105 points. Today's date also has 24 date numerology, and Canada equals 24. It's the Raptors' 24th season. So could be a special day for Canada to make their first NBA Finals. Something else to consider. If the Bucks lost today, they'd become 4-2 away on a 42-date numerology. Another thing to consider. The Bucks are 70-25 for the season. The game is on the 25th. Could stay at 25. It is the 101st game between the two teams. 26th prime. Could pick up the 26th loss. Finals 101. But remember, the next game is on a 71-date numerology. We just saw the Raptors pick up their 69th win before the game on the 69-date numerology. The Bucks could do the same thing today, picking up their 71st win before the game on the 71-date numerology. The Bucks are 31-16 away. Doesn't give me a big clue for today. The Bucks are 120-134 in the playoffs. The Raptors are 43-56 in the playoffs. Both cities on the 43rd parallel. Bucks does equal 56 if they kept it there. The Bucks are 55-45 against the Raptors. Again, Bucks equals 56. Raptors is 46. So that could go either way. The Bucks are 26-24 at the Raptors. It is the 101st game, 26th prime. We have 24 date numerology. We also have the 25th of the month, so that's tough. You know what? As I say this, I think finals is also 25. Ooh, finals is 25 as well. So your finals could be set on the 25th. It's possible. The Bucks are 4-7 in the playoffs against the Raptors. Remember, they became that in the last game on the lesser 47-date numerology, 211 days after Drake's birthday, the 47th prime. Milwaukee Bucks does equal 48. If they lost today, they would be 4-8. If they won today, they'd be 5-7, the big championship number, and they'd have a chance to get to 6-7 in the next game. Kind of like how 67 is the 19th prime. They're trying to win their 19th playoff series. 213 days after Drake's birthday, the NBA Finals number. The Bucks are 5-4 versus the Raptors this season. Raptors equals 55. Wisconsin equals 55. From the Raptors' perspective, they're 4-5. Raptors in the most pure cipher is, well, in the reverse reduction cipher, is 46. So from the Raptors' perspective, they could also become 4-6. So again, the riddles, I mean, they're tight, but that Drake thing seems to be the riddle above riddles here. Nick Nurse, 11-6 in the playoffs. If he won, he'd be 12-6. Oakland does equal 126. That's who he'd be facing. If he lost, he'd be 11-7. Toronto's 117. His upcoming birthday is a span of 61 days. Finals equals 61. The coach of the Bucks, he's trying to get that 71st win. Next game's on a 71 date numerology. They'd play on the 71 date if they could get there. The game's on his 293rd day of his age, the 62nd prime. 62, 293 came up in the Western Conference Finals. Now it shows up in the Eastern Conference Finals. Remember, Portland lost 4 straight. If Milwaukee loses tonight, they'll lose 4 straight. And what's interesting is Portland and Milwaukee both sum to 137 using the alphabetic order and the rules of numerology. What else stands out to me is the Bucks coach, his upcoming birthday is in 73 days. It's the 73rd NBA season. And if he did make it to the next game, it would be on a date with 71 numerology, 71 days to his upcoming birthday, or a span of 72 where he could get his team to that 72nd win, Toronto 72. So, again, not comfortable with tonight's game for these reasons. Kawhi's birthday, his upcoming birthday is in 35 days or a span of 36. Raptors 35, Toronto 36. His birthday is more interesting than Giannis's, that's for sure. And you guys have heard me say what I say about the series record several times. To me, things are more interesting with a Bucks series win, but we'll see. I say if the Raptors don't close it out tonight, the Bucks are going to come back and win this thing. But the Raptors do have the closeout narrative tonight through Drake, a perfect NBA Finals riddle. So can't deny that. But if Raptors don't close it out, I'm going to be back on the Bucks in Game 7. So we'll leave it there. Good luck. Remember to follow that date numerology. It's been very consistent in baseball. Hope you did well yesterday as well. All right. Good luck, Truth Seeker.